So we did our budgets last week, and couple of things I want to say about the budget. You should review your budget regularly, at least once a quarter. Look through your budget, see if there's anything, or redo your budget. To see if there's any because you're aiming to keep it on track, to keep those expenses from going above. And then sometimes you may pay something off, you want to get it off of your plan, off your expense list. What else was I going to say? There is just so much information. Okay, so a few tips for kind of fine-tuning your expenses or budgets. Hold on. My screen don't. Okay. So a couple things. So when you they're on your recurring expenses, this is going to be a list, and this is not any kind of order, and it's kind of just stuff I just jotted down. So you can try calling your vendors to try to get a lower price on something. Like I've done that for my my alarm company. I had got a advertisement for another company in the mail, which was lower than the company I was using. So I called my company and said, I can go with this other company for this such a price, and they lowered my payments. So you can they can only say yes or no, so it ain't gonna hurt to call and see if you can lower your expenses. So you can try doing that to lower some bills. You can try to refinance your loan to get a lower rate on a mortgage. I've done that as well. I refinanced my mortgage and saved about $100 a month. You can also.
Quick question.
Yes.
And obviously everybody's situation will be different, but just out of curiosity, did you refinance with the same mortgage company or what?
I did. Okay. Yeah, I did, because I work for the bank, so it was better for me because we got a little half a point, discount because of being an employee. But yeah. So you do want to, shop around to get the better rates. What else did I say about it? Oh, and so that you don't. Some people, it's easier for them not to have to kind of touch their money or see, so what you can do is there are programs like mycheckfree.com, or there's other ones where you can set up and have your bills paid directly from your checking account without having to write a check or whatever. So my utilities they automatically come out of my checking account, because through mycheckfree.com, the utility company invoices. You set it up through this website, invoices the mycheckfree.com, and it goes to there. You get an email saying your invoice is ready, and you go out to the website. You arrange the date you want it paid, and then it's automatically paid out of your. You can also do bill pay through your checking account, but I think if you do bill pay through your checking account, it kind of lags. It's like because they actually send a check to the vendor like 2 or 3 days later. But this way, it's kind of sent via ACH, which is electronic, if you do the mycheckfree.com. And there are other ones, but I use mycheckfree.com because it's free. So that's another way to keep track of some expenses, and have them done automatically. You can also call vendors and have them change due dates if the due date is not falling right in your pay period. I've done that as well. called about my car notes falling, the pay, I get paid 2 times a month, and that date is not falling right where I can budget right. So I called them, and I can change it, but they only allow you to change it one time. So you gotta check with the company to see if that's an option. So you can change your due dates on some of your on some of your expenses. What else? Oh, you can also like set up a another checking account that's not tied to your regular account where you pay expenses from, and have money like transferred from that. It doesn't even have to be at the same bank. And they have online banks too that are free, like Chime, and there's another one. But you can open up another account and just have money transferred from your just automatically set up an automatic dollar amount. Just go every time you get paid into this other account, and you can build up your savings that way.
Marsha, have you?
Yes.
I just recently heard of this, and I've heard good things. I haven't heard anything bad. It's a similar thing. It's called Acorn, where they, like, when you make a purchase, it rounds up,
Right.
and Acorn takes that amount,
Right.
and tucks it
Acorn,
away.
right. Acorn
Something like that, where,
yeah,
like, if you do certain things, however you, like, if you do a debit for $9.95, it'll take that, it'll actually charge it for
they rounds it up.
$10, take that 5 cents and throw it in this Acorn account.
Right, and that
So
Acorn account is an investment account, so they invest that money. So that's a way that you can.
Well, and I think there's another one too that will take that money, set it aside, and will actually every quarter pay off a bill for you or pay something for you. And I don't remember the name of that one.
I don't.
Somebody else mentioned that recently, where it's like every quarter it rounds up or whatever, or you say take this amount, and then every quarter it says, okay, you have this amount to pay off these things.
I think it's called Coin with
and it's a way.
QOINS. I think that's
with
what
a
it's
Q.
called. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So those are things that just recently I've heard of that sound like you're saying, another account to do, to take care of some things.
Yeah. So there's a ton of information and resources out there. There are even we did our budget last week, but there are online or budget apps that you can do that will, you can create a budget. Good Budget is one. Let's see. Mint, that's a budgeting management tool. It tracks your spending and syncs your accounts, your whatever accounts that you program into it. Let's see. Pocket Guard is another budgeting tool. Shows you how much you're spending and helps you save for a goal. Go back to mine. Okay. Let's see. Oh, if you're having problems with credit cards, don't carry the credit card with you. You can either, my sister has done that. She has given me her credit card to keep for her. So if you have a trusted person, you can give them your credit card, and they can, so you forget about it because you don't have it on you to spend, to charge anything. And also there's, like if I pay for something with cash, and they give you coins back, just keep that coin in a shoebox. I had like $400 saved up for 3 years, just coins when I get. So, I mean, that's $300 that I can do something with that I didn't have, 3 years ago. And that's just easy money.
When my mother passed away, she used to just take and like little lumps of coins in bags and tuck them
Mhm.
in her clothing drawers. When she passed away, we had about $800 worth of coins intermixed in her clothing.
Oh,
And we
God.
just thought it was really funny, but she really had that much from just,
Mhm.
getting change back. And you
Yeah.
don't think about it. And if you can place it somewhere and just not think about it, it really,
It adds
she
up.
it adds up. It was like $800.
It adds up. And we we don't think about it. We don't make a conscious decision on every dollar that we send out or that but if you thought about it like this, like say you buy a magazine, $3 magazine, and you throw it you put it on the table somewhere and you never get to read it, and then you throw it away. That's $3 that you actually just put in the trash can. So, you buy a blouse that you liked in the store that day, and then a month from now you haven't even looked at it again. That's $25. You just you give it away or whatever. So if we have to make more conscious, be aware of every dollar or every purchase or every expenditure, and you can catch, if you think about it that way, you can catch most of the stuff that you're wasting money on. And 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 another thought is that $3 that you were going to spend on a magazine or whatever. You use a coupon. You go to the store and you use a coupon. You save $3 on something. Don't just I just thought about this. Don't just let that $3 just stay where it is. Actually go in or transfer $3 out of your checking account or whatever and put it somewhere. The money that you were going to spend on the magazine, don't just say, oh, I'm going to save that. Actually, if you're going to actually save it, don't leave it in your checking account. Take it out of your checking account and put it in another savings account or a checking account somewhere else. Let's see. Oh, balance your checkbook. That's another way that you will keep track of everything that you are spending. And one of the ways that we're overspending is we don't look at our checkbook. We don't until we get an overdraft notice or something. We have to be more conscious of how we are spending our money. If you balance your checkbook, you can see where all your dollars are going. If you can see it, then you can more understand your habits and the things that you're doing with your money. The most like I said, the most important thing that you can do to be more to have control, I'll use that word, control over your finances, is to actually be aware and conscious of your finances. If they're hidden, and they're not in the forefront, it's easier to lose track of what you're doing with it. If you're balancing your checkbook, looking through looking at your budget, looking at your budgets, credit card statements. Don't just throw that mail away. Look at your credit card statements, review your budgets, keep track of your expenditures. That's 90% of the issue right there. Knowing what your expenditures are. else was I gonna say? There are, you don't, if you have a tendency to rack up banking fees and overdraft fees and stuff like that, there are free online checking and savings banks that offer free checking and savings. Simple is one of them. That's a mobile banking app. They have a free checking debit card, and they have budgeting tools. There's no monthly overdraft fees. The only fees are for paper checks, if you need a paper check. And out of network ATM, if you use an ATM that's not in their network. But
You know, Marcia, my
yes.
sister does this, and I always thought it was a little odd, but then it sort of made sense. She had she had an account that all it was for her mortgage payment, and I think insurance, like car insurance or whatever. And when her paycheck was deposited, it deposited certain amounts each pay period in that account, and then the rest was, you know, for her other bills and her living expenses. She didn't have, the only way she could access that account was to literally go to the bank, because they kept trying to give her checks and debit cards, and she kept saying, no, I don't want it. And then what she did is, when those things came due, they automatically rolled out of that account when they came due. They went into the account automatically and out of the account automatically. She still does it. So that she knows those payments, all it does is it rolls her payments of those recurring things in and out of that account. And I think she puts a little extra in there just to keep the account, you know,
right. That's
going.
a good idea. That's a very good idea.
So there's a little savings in there, but she literally, she laughs about it, because they always want to give her checks, and they want to give her a debit card, and they want to, you know, they say, here, you need these things to access your account. She goes, no, I don't want access. I don't want to. It's at a completely different bank than what she banks at. It's at a completely, it's not convenient for her to get there. It's all, she did all of that very purposely.
Yeah.
And she just rolls like her mortgage, I think it's her mortgage or car payment, and like her car insurance payment, because she was always getting paid bi-weekly, and those were monthly payments. So they would roll out whenever they rolled out, and the money was always there, but she never could accidentally touch it.
Right. Yeah, that's a good, I mean, we know what our limits are, and we know what we, you know, need to do to keep ourselves under control. So if that's what she needed to do, then good for her. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so I want you to take, did everybody have their budgets with them? Okay, we're going to take maybe 5 minutes to look over your budget, find one expense that you can either reduce by 10% or eliminate in like the next couple of months. Terrell, did you? Oh, okay.
Yeah, I've already made that determination.
Oh.
As a matter of fact, on tomorrow, I will be talking to the gentleman who is over, to whom I'm paying this this monthly. Yeah. So, so I can get that out of the way. I go to a personal trainer. I've been doing it for the last 4 months, and real good. I mean, he is really good. I, get up early and go and train for about 50 minutes, almost an hour. And he does group training of no more than 4 people, but it is an expense. It costs. So I will let him know, God willing, on tomorrow that I am going to just cut this loose for a season. Eventually, not if, but when I do believe they will, my income will increase. Then I will, sign up again with them. So that's what I'm going to have to do.
Yeah. And then like those things that you had to eliminate, you can always pick them back up later. A few years ago, I was with, what was I doing? Weight Watchers or something, Weight Watchers a few years ago. And I was going through my bills like, okay, I need to cut. So I cut them then. I'm back with them now, but back then I needed some extra cushion. So you you review your budget and see what you can eliminate to get you
Don't worry about those notifications, Marsha. I'll take care of them.
Okay, to get you where you need to go. So find the expense on your budget. And I think I found one of mine too. I have 3 different hairdressers, y'all. I need to let somebody go. I have a girl doing my color. I have a girl doing my braids, and I have a girl clipping my ends. So I'm gonna get my sister to do my braids, and the color. I gotta think about the color, y'all, because I have to have my color. But the other lady, she clips my ends differently than the one that does my color. I'm gonna have to think about that one. But I'm gonna get my sister to do my braids. Something got to give. So pick something on your. Did I hear something? Pick something on your budget, and like I said, and you can either reduce it by 10% or eliminate it in the next couple of months. And how much? 724. Okay. So I think we have time. I was going to wait till next week, but I think we have time to go through this. So I'm going to go through the credit card debt stuff. If anybody has any questions before I get to Mother Trout, you on mute?
That's what I want, the credit card.
Okay. So first off, we're going to start talking about the credit score. So the credit score is it's just a score that the credit card or the credit card, not the credit card company, creditors, yes, use to decide whether they're going to give you credit. So the score eliminate or estimate the likelihood that you're going to repay this debt. So a score of 300 to 629 is bad. A score of 630 to 689 is fair. 690 to 719 is good. And 720 to 850 is excellent. So there are
Elder Marsha,
yes.
Can you repeat that, please?
The 300 to 629 is bad. 630 to 689 is fair. 690 to 719 is good. And 720 to 850 is excellent.
720 to 850?
Is excellent.
So so I'm curious as to where you got that scale from, because I know everybody has a different scale. That's actually the highest scale I've ever seen. Usually they cut off bad at 6 at.
This is a FICO score, so
that's the scale from 300 to 850, but how they rate it: bad.
Really?
Bad, good, fair, good, and excellent are always, it's very subjective. Because I know like some mortgage companies, I think they start at like 580, where they'll consider you for a mortgage. Now 580 is not good by any stretch, but most places that I've seen start a good score at like 620.
Yeah, see, this says a score above 690 is like considered good.
And I've heard over like 700 is like excellent. So I guess it just depends on.
It depends on, yeah.
Are looking at, yeah.
Right. So generally in those ranges is how those are going to be divided up. So the credit score and FICO score are used kind of interchangeably, but the FICO score is like one type of a credit score. And how the FICO score is, how they come up with the FICO score is they use 35% of your payment history. So it's based on 35% of your payment history. And the amount to debt relative to your credit limits, that's 30% of the score. The age of your credit is 15% of the score. And then recent applications for credit will be 10%. And then if you have more than one type of credit, like an installment loan and a revolving credit, that's 10%. So whether you have more than one type of credit, that's 10%. So those figures are that's the criteria that you take into consideration when they're deciding your credit score.
So can you repeat that?
Oh yeah.
Whenever if you don't have like a slide, always.
Yeah, let me put the slide up. That's easier. Okay. All right. You see it? Okay, so I need to move you guys to the top of my screen. Can you all see my screen? Okay. All right. Now I can't see my screen. Let me see if I can get this to the slide view. Oh well. Can you see? I mean, can you read that? Or do I have to make it bigger? Okay, it's good. Okay, so that is. I'm just going to minimize this because I don't know why it's not. Oh well. Now I can't see my screen. But anyway, so those are the percentages of how it makes it. There's 35% for your payment history, 30% of your the amount of debt relative to the amount of credit limits you have, and 15% on the age of the credit. And then any recent applications is 10%. And then whether you have more than one type of credit, 10%. Now, so that the way you could find this out of what your credit score is to get a copy of your credit report. And the website is there on the slide. Annualcreditreport.com will give you a free credit report once a year from all 3 of the credit reporting agencies. And then Credit Karma will give you free, but only from TransUnion and Equifax.
Elder Marcia, that address there for the agency, it says annual,
It's
and then
spelled, it's spelled wrong. It's if you go, I misplaced the C.
it's okay. So it's annualcreditreport.com.
Yes.
Okay, that's what. Okay, thank you.
Thank you for finding that. Let's save this. Okay. All right. Okay, we did that. Okay. All right. Everybody done with this slide? Okay. I can't get my screen back. Oh. I'm sorry, people. Okay. All right. So, can you see this slide here? All right. So the National Foundation of Credit Counseling. Oh, I can't see my screen. Shoot. This is a free agency that provides credit counseling. So yeah, I printed out because I sure can't see the screen myself. I didn't print it out. So the things so that you can call them up. I'm just got to minimize this because I just can't see it. So if you have a question, you have to just say it because I can't see anybody on my screen. Just start talking. So it takes about 30 minutes to an hour on the phone or online or in person. You can call them up and they get free counseling sessions. They'll talk about eliminating any late charges or over limit charges. They can stop collection calls, lower interest rates. They can help you consolidate bills into one smaller payment. They can help you pay off your debt faster and improve money habits. They have money, what do you call it, curriculum or whatever, too, that they can discuss with you. Oh, okay.
So
Yes,
Elder Marcia, so this part number 4 about consolidating bills into one smaller monthly payment. So I thought that I had read somewhere where that is not a favorable, that doesn't really work in your favor.
It's it depends on the situation. You're right. It depends on this person, the situation. Yes, you're right. It may not doesn't work for everybody, but like I said, but these people will help you decide on what will work for you. But we can try to do some things before you have to call them. And the things that you can do on your own is here we go. So you have more than one credit card you're trying to pay off. You pay off the smallest debt first. And then once you pay off that one, you use the money that you were using to pay off that credit card or whatever that bill was. Then you use that amount and roll it into the next bill or the next card payment. So now that you're making double payments or more payments on the second card. I'm sorry. I'm trying to get my screen back to where it was. There. Okay. Pay off the debt with the highest interest rate first. But while you're paying the minimums on the other cards, try to start paying off the highest card first. Then the next highest card, the highest rate, and then so on and so on. So you're going to start off paying the smallest debt first, whatever that smallest debt is. Once you have that payoff, and when I say pay it off first, I mean you're still making minimum payments on the other ones while you're doing this. But once you get that smallest one paid off, then you take you don't just stick that money that you're no longer paying on that first card and put it away somewhere. You take that money and put it on the next card. Okay. And then you get it, you pay the smallest amount first, then you do the highest, then you're trying to pay off the highest rate, interest rate, loan or credit card, whatever that is. And then you do the next highest one and the next highest one. And try to pay more than the minimum. There is a, I'll find the link. I have a link to I don't have it right now, but you can put in the amount of your debt and what you're paying, and it'll generate how long it's going to take you to pay it off.
Is that based on like just minimum payments, or will it show you different?
It'll let me find it. I have all of those. Here we go. Excuse me. Give me just a second here. Okay, so it doesn't have a download. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to have to copy the link. Let's see if this works. Into the chat. See if this works. It's nerdwallet.com is where I got it from. And NerdWallet has a bunch of NerdWallet, Credit Karma. These are all free resources. They have a ton of stuff. SuzeOrman.com. Here, what I can do is do this. Okay, can you see my screen? I can't see you guys because my screen is going. So if you're saying something, I can't hear you.
Yes, we can see it.
Okay.
Yeah,
I can see it.
Okay. So okay, so here is, let's see, I'm just gonna keep these dollar amounts that they got in there. You got 5,000. This is a consolidation. Let's say your interest rate, I'll just leave it like that. And if you just pay $25, 100. All right, so your total balance combined rate. So we have, if you continue paying the same amount every month, you were debt free in 4.2 years. So your consolidation depends on your credit score. So let's say you have a credit score of this. I'm not looking at all this stuff. Insiders to.
So can you, Elder?
Yeah.
So, you know, I didn't think about that. When it comes to consolidation, I guess that is like another loan. Really?
Yeah, when you're consolidating,
You are
all
taking
they're
out another
doing.
loan.
Yeah,
So
all
they're
they're
gonna-
doing. Yeah,
Go ahead.
all they're doing is you're just borrowing enough money to pay off what you already owe, but you're going to borrow that money at a lower interest rate than those combined, I don't know, bills you already have.
But if my credit score, is below good,
The interest rate is, you're not going to get a favorable interest
rate. So
Right.
that would be a case like that. It would not be favorable. Consolidation would not be favorable for me.
Right.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. This is not the calculator I was looking for. I'm sorry, guys. I was looking for a different calculator.
That's where, like Mother Trout, some people will do like almost a mortgage loan at a mortgage loan at a lower rate than what their credit cards are to pay off their credit cards, and then they just add to they're just adding to what they pay on their mortgage. That's what some people will do. But all it's doing is it's still a payment. It's still there. So sometimes you have to weigh whether you want to do it that way or the other way, which she described, which is, pay off one, move to the next one, and really focus on one at a time.
Mm-hmm.
And just, and it feels like you're doing something faster, but you're not really, it depends on, so many things and what fits each individual the best.
Now you can also, how you get these credit card offers in the mail sometimes, and they say 0% for a year or 2% for a year, whatever. You could also, there's called do a balance transfer to that card and moving a higher interest rate credit, to a lower interest rate credit card, and then that would help out too. But typically when you do those balance transfers, sometimes there's like a 3% fee or something, but that may be worth it to pay that, up front to get the lower to get that 0% interest for that amount of time, that because in that year you're paying 0%, so you can pay off more of your money, more of your payment will go towards the balance of the amount owed. Am I explaining this right? Okay.
Yeah, and you know,
it goes to that. It goes to that, not the interest. You're not paying anything
Correct.
on interest. It's all
Right.
going to the.
Yes.
Right. So I got something that like that was transferring it, balance transfer. I tore it up and threw it away. I probably, but I gotta check.
I'm sure you're
credit
gonna get
score.
another one because they come like once every week.
Well, this is from my mortgage company.
Yeah, I mean, but when you pay close attention to any interest rates that you're paying. When you apply for a credit, pay close attention to the interest rates that you're that they're offering. And be conscious of those, you know, for a year, at the end of that year, you're going to have to pay that interest. So you want to have that paid off before that year ends. You know, you don't want that to catch up with you. I think that's what all I have for today. I feel like I'm leaving. Do you have any questions? Is there something you guys wanted to know that I didn't answer for today or last week or anytime?
Well, you know, when you talk about the advertisements that we get in the mail, you know, for loans and things like that, I guess you have to go to the Better Business Bureau or something to find out if these are good, you know, companies. And
bbb.org.
bbb.org. Okay. Okay. Oh. All right.
Yeah.
And I would just
I think I might
be
want to
careful
look into
with the BBB because so BBB has a thing where a company can pay to be registered with the BBB, and it looks good because they're registered with the BBB, but that doesn't mean they actually are a good company per se. And a company can also have like a lot of complaints, but as long as they resolve each complaint, they can still maintain their A+ rating, even though they've had a lot of complaints, you know? So you gotta really like pay attention and look down. They have a list of them. Look down and read through some of them. See how the person described the problem, and then how the company responded, and just pay attention to their interaction. And because sometimes just taking a quick look at what's the score doesn't really give you a good view on how that company operates. Google though is another BBB, but also just Google it and see what people are saying about it online, reviews and stuff about different companies.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Let's see. I think I feel like I think that's all I have, y'all. Mother Child, did I get all your credit information? Credit questions?
Did you get my what now?
Did I answer? Did you were all your credit card or credit or questions answered?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I have a question.
Yes.
So what would you say about, so I know that there's particularly when we've done, you know, we've jacked up our credit and we try to, you know, fix it. You know, we become very, I think, turned off to the very idea of credit altogether. And so we just don't have any credit, don't have anything at all. And of course, over that 7-year period, things begin to drop off. And before you know it, we have no credit at all. Is that a good place to be in?
No, but there's ways to, that's what I was forgetting. There's ways to build your credit up. Hold on.
So while Elder is looking for that, I think that's sad. I really hate that because it's like they want to just keep you in debt. If you should, they'll say, well, you have to have credit. You can't rent a car because you have to have a major credit card. So they just want to keep you in debt.
But you can have a car without being in debt, though.
No, I'm talking about rent a car. You got to have a major credit card.
You have to
right.
have
That's what I'm saying. You can
card.
What I'm saying is you can
but-
have a credit card without being in debt.
Yeah, but what she's
Theoretically
saying is like, I will be totally honest. I don't have a credit card. Don't have a one.
That's the life to me.
And there are advantages, but there are disadvantages. And one of the disadvantages is my debit card is pointless if I want to go rent a car.
Right.
Like if I want to go rent a car, I have to have a credit card, not a debit card.
Right.
And that is, and yeah, you can have a credit card and not be in debt. Yes, but I don't have one. And like I said, there are advantages and disadvantages because once in a while you run into a situation where somebody will say to you, no, you have to have a major credit card. Okay.
But even with that, I mean, think about people that don't have control. Some people don't have credit cards because they don't have control. Now I'm in a place where I'm really in control because I want to pay these credit cards off, but I'm like swimming in them, but I'm never using them, but I'm still not getting anywhere, paying on it, so I just feel like I'd rather not even rent a car. Forget renting. If my car can't take me where I want to go, then I just won't go.
But see, that's the thing though. So that sounds good.
It
but
sounds
the problem
good.
is, when you, like for example, when you were seeking to buy your house,
I know
you had to have the credit.
That's what you're right. Yeah, that's terrible. It's terrible. I think it's cruel. They just want to keep you in debt.
It's the same thing when you travel and go places like hotels now. A lot of hotels are starting to at the end of your stay, but to check in, you have to have a major credit card. And to be honest with you, the number of authorizations that are held on a debit card, and a debit card is just like having cash that will hold your money, whereas a credit card
Is he freezing? Is he freezing for you guys?
Yes.
Yeah.
Go back and say that again because you were freezing.
Okay, yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. Can y'all hear me now? So I was just saying that, the way the world is working, like with hotels, a lot of hotels, don't want the authorizations that are often held on your debit card as well. And a number of places that we go, here's a lot of places like
Damien,
you have a debit.
Damien, would you want to come in here and talk? Because that computer keeps freezing.
You're still freezing and we're missing a good chunk of what you're saying.
Right, I want to hear what he's saying.
He's going to come in here and say it.
So see, I got to buy a new laptop, okay? But no, what I was saying was that, I don't know how much you heard, but working from hotels, they tell us like you get a precursor of what the credit world is going to look like, period. Like we're talking about change right now, but cash is about to go away soon. You need a credit card for a number of things. For one thing, the authorizations that are held on debit cards is not always great. And the one that we've learned the most that happens if you have a debit card that's connected to a credit union, the processing for credit unions is much slower than it is for like your average national bank. So whether it be you're going to a hotel or whether you're renting a car, or a lot of things are picking up the fact that you have to have a major credit card. And even if it's just something that has a $300 balance on it, it's good to utilize I mean, a $300 limit is good to utilize for initial things, and then you can pay with your debit card or cash after the fact. But so Pastor and I had this disagreement, and I think he found out differently. I'm not really trying to tell on him, but
Yeah, you are.
okay. Well, we went through this thing.
And I don't appreciate it.
Oh well, okay, but we're educating each other because I learned from this too, but I couldn't understand why my mother only has one major credit card, and she's had it since like 2005. It's a Discover card. She actually had me call the other day because I'm kind of like helping her and my grandmother with a lot of her stuff. But I actually called the other day, and they actually decreased her credit limit on her card. She's like, oh, it's 2004. I was like, I've been, why, I think it should be much lower than this. She's like, I can transfer my money over to a brand new card for a much lower interest rate. Well, when they heard the competition in mind, they actually decreased her rate down to what the competitors said. And I was like, it was just that simple.
The interest rate. I thought you said the balance.
The interest rate, I'm sorry. But they decreased her interest rate down to that. So I'm working, like I have 3 credit cards right now in my name, and I'm working myself to get down to 1 card. You get fooled about the stuff that's online and a lot of other financial places like this that we're talking. What are we calling this?
Financial empowerment.
Okay, a lot of things online say that, oh, get this card, get that card. You've got to be sure. They also tell you that you need a revolving a credit card, but then you need something like a gas card or a Home Depot card. The interest rates on those are ridiculous, and there are no low rates on those store cards and Home Depot and all of that. Like, I realize that Home Depot is convenient for you when, like, with the church per se. I get that, but a major credit card is just so much better, and you only need 1 of them. Don't go get 10, 12, 13 cards, 5 or whatever. But like I said, I have 3, and I am desperately trying to get those 3 down to just the 1. And because I've seen it time and time again, to get over that. But even if you just get a $200 card and you just charge $20 a month and pay it off, the nature of the game is discipline, and they cannot be used for rob Peter to pay Paul. Because that's how you get into debt. In my mind, I try to think in terms of, what would I do in an emergency situation? If I didn't have this card, what would I do? And I would rather do that alternative thing that's not going to double or triple or add a quarter more money to my already existing balance. Yeah, I'm over credit cards. I wish we could get away with them, but you have to have one. And the world is advancing even more so to where you need to have at least 1 of them. It's just going to, because eventually cash is going to completely go away, and we're going to be swiping our phones. We're already swiping our phones. Apple Pay and everything else is where we're at, but gotta have one.
And I thought I was doing good, not, getting rid of all of mine.
Yeah.
And, and so I did all that, but see, I didn't save 1.
Yeah. Need 1 of
which
them.
I probably should have done. But I thought I was doing it good because I was sick and tired. I was where Mother Trout was. Just feel like I'm just paying and paying and paying, and I can't do this anymore.
Yes.
So you get rid of it, and then you realize you need 1. Well, there you go.
Gotta have revolving credit, but revolving, and I'm sure Marsha could tell you this because she's like the guru of saving, but you gotta have, even if it's just, like I said, you charge $20 and then you pay it off, and then, you do it again in another 2 months. Don't do it every month, do it every 2 months. That was the other trick too, is that they were trying to get us to be disciplined. I mean, trying to do something every month. You can do something every other month. As long as you've got quarterly activity on the card, you're good, and they're not gonna like shut your card down or whatever the case is. But you need quarterly activity, not monthly activity on it.
So everybody get your cards, get them up, and then give them to Elder Marsha. She's going to lock them up in a lockbox.
Hey, I got no problem with that.
Can I bring you
all.
mine Sunday?
You can bring it to me. I have a safe in my room. It'll be locked up.
I don't need her to hold mine. No, wait. I have mine. My payments on my cards stops me from using them. I will not pull those cards out for nothing.
Well, I haven't used this stuff. Did any of these was any of this helpful for you that we would, how the payments plan?
So I'm trying to think. So first I'm gonna go to this annual credit report thing and check what my credit score is. And then I'm gonna I'm gonna look at paying something. I think I want to look at the paying the smaller ones off first. I want to look at that first right now.
Right, pay the, yeah.
I don't want to. The consolidation.
Actually, Ellis, let me get you. Go ahead.
Consolidation is not what I want to look at right now.
No.
I want to look at the paying the smallest one off first.
Right. Okay. Brother Ellis, you raised your hand. Is he there?
Oh yeah, sorry about that. I'm here.
Oh.
What's a good way to build your credit, or without getting a credit card? Because what if you can't get approved for one? What's a good way to kind of get something to where you can get credit?
They have it's called, I had on that slide, I don't have it up anymore, but on that slide where I said how to build your credit, one of the items was to add alternative data to your credit profile. And what that means is they'll add, like, if you're paying your utilities on time, that kind of stuff, any regular payments you're making, they can add that to your credit file to build your credit up that way. You can also, here, let me put this back up. You can also, you can use somebody else's credit by becoming an authorized user on their card. So when they use their card, you get, basically you get credit for that, or I don't know how to say it, but points or whatever.
Their usage is duplicated on your credit.
Yes, thank you. See, it helps to speak English. Yeah.
How do you add your utilities to your?
When you, that's something that the credit, those TransUnion, Experian, it's another one.
Equifax.
Equifax. They can do that for you.
Marsha, what about these, what are they're called, like secured credit cards? Is that a way for like what, and is that an answer to kind of to Ellis's question, where they start you out with a secured amount to see how you do with the credit card? Do some banks still do that? They used to do that. I don't know if they still do
I
it.
don't think Bank of America don't do that, but some, there may be.
Well, here's one. So Capital One, they have both a secure and an unsecured option. And they basically, I mean, they almost give credit to anybody.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you can get a credit card.
Yeah.
But you gotta watch them, because they'll increase your credit limit to $5 million.
They do increase, but people utilize. But that's the whole thing. Capital One is one of the what they call credit building cards, because they do constantly review your account for credit limit increases. But this is where the discipline
comes in.
If you don't use it, having the higher credit limit actually is very, very, very good. Because remember how Marsha said that part of your FICO score, they want to look at what is the ratio of your credit usage to your credit limit. And if you have a limit of 5,000 and a usage of 100, that works very, very well in your favor. But if you have a limit of 200 and a usage of 100, that's horrible. Because that's 50%.
So you don't have to have used the credit card.
Well, if you don't use it over an extended period of time, they'll close it. So you have to use it.
Yeah.
Well, but if you're still paying it off, they can't close it, right?
If you're behind. But the idea is like buy a Snickers bar.
What? No.
Do that.
Okay, so what I'm saying is, okay, so I have a Capital One card. Okay, Capital One, they, my limit is up there. But my monthly payment is out of this world. So I can't pay more than the minimum. So I'm making the minimum payment on that card. but I'm not using it. So is that going against me? Because I don't use it, but I'm making the payments?
You need to get your credit report. Get your credit report and see how they are reporting that on your credit report.
Is like Marsha has been teaching us tonight, is to get some of the other cards down, or whatever the other bills are that you have, some additional money in order to put towards the payment that they're requiring, more than the minimum each month. That's the same thing I had to do with I have, and it's irritating to me because it's like right at $300, and I'm like, okay, if I could just get that out of the way.
Gee, you're gonna have to go back in there with Pastor because we don't hear a thing. You freezing bad.
Just log in on your cell phone, something like that. But if I may, so I forgot what I was gonna say. Okay, thanks.
But yeah, what he was saying was, you wasn't at the beginning of the class. You wasn't at the beginning. But anyway, at the beginning, I was saying to pick a bill. Maybe you were to pick a bill and see if you can lower it by 10% or pay it off in the next couple of months. So if you find something on something else that you can pay off, use that money and put it on that credit card.
And that's what she was using the example also earlier on in Bible class about, in life class about, and Elder Cindy had mentioned it too about the different companies. And I know with Bank of America, they offer this. I don't know of any other bank that does this. They offer automatically where you can set it up to where they'll automatically round up every charge and put it into your savings account. And that's money that you can take to actually dump onto the card to get it paid down more. Because if all you're paying is the minimum, it's not that it's hurting you per se, as long as you're not behind.
It's just not helping you.
Not helping you, right? So you got to get that lowest.
You're not getting ahead. You're not getting ahead. You're just
treading water.
Treading water, and until you can get ahead, and that's the thing. Like that's why when I heard about this, like Acorn and what did you call it? Coins. Yeah. I mean, I think Marie, she talked about how she used that coins for like a year or so and paid off like 2 or 3 credit cards or 2 or 3 debts. And she said, and she was talking about it on Facebook, and I thought, well, isn't that interesting? And it's just a matter of, it's rounding these purchases. Because when you think about it, okay, round my purchase up. I mean, how many times do we go to a store and they'll say, can we round up and donate to Who's What's It? And, have my 50 cents. But when you think about it, you make enough purchases, and that's building. And then quarterly, it took, if I understood it correctly, it took what she had and looked at whatever bills she had registered, and it just gave an extra payment to these bills, and just kind of funneled that money directly in there. So it wasn't anything she felt this huge, I'm missing all this money or a huge payment, but it just whittled away at some of these bills that she had. And I mean, she's somebody who said, look at what this did for me.
And also, I'm sorry, also down the line, we'll be looking at ways to generate additional income. And that's another thing you can use to pay off existing debts. Even if you do something temporarily, just to pay off those other things. And like Marsha was saying, to then snowball those extra payments over to the other thing. The key is, and this is something we just have bad as human beings, every time we generate more income, we raise our standard of living. It's like, don't do that. Keep the same standard of living and just pay off your debts. So.
Yep. All right, that's all I had. Unless somebody else has some more questions.
Thank you, Elder.
Yes,
You're
good
welcome.
stuff. Thank you very much. Good stuff. I hope I wasn't jumping in too much. You know,
You were very helpful. Everybody was.
I do so much research on debt and credit. Unfortunately, I'm not the best at it, but I do research. I know it all up here, but it's like, the practice of it. But in some instances, it's good experience just to learn, live and learn, if you will, and know how the system works and know better. It's like, okay, God, help me reset with what I know now, All right. So if there's nothing else, our announcements for, yes, I'm sorry, Elder Cindy.
No, I keep looking away and doing stuff. Steffi started some new medicine today, and she's had a horrible headache all day, and she's really suffering. So if we can just say a prayer for her tonight, I would appreciate it, because she keeps coming. She keeps trying to lay down, and it seems to be affecting. Between allergies and the new medicine, I think it's giving her a horrible, horrible headache.
Okay. Absolutely. Any other prayer requests? Okay. So by way of announcement, we have today is Wednesday. I was about to announce life class. Don't forget that we'll be down at the church Saturday about 1:00. Damien and I, anybody, feel free to join if you'd like. Certainly nothing obligated or anything like that. Again, Saturday at 1:00. We're back Sunday at 10:45 or 10:30 in preparation for our noon. I say 10 at 11:30 or 11:45 in preparation for noon service. I want to also say that Damien had an excellent idea. He contacted some of his Facebook friends directly, sent them a message or called them and asked for money for sponsorships for the paint that I mentioned on this past Sunday. So then I decided to post about it myself. And between the two of us, now he did the vast majority of it. We raised about $300. So there's no more need for us to take up a special collection. Look at everybody. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Jesus. So no more need for special collection on Sunday for that purpose. Just roll it over to your offering. But yeah, so thank you very much for that great idea. And so we're going to get that fellowship hall painted. So that's great news. I believe that's all that I have. Any other announcements before we close out? Okay. Thanks again to both the elders for your continued work. I'm really, really, really enjoying the financial empowerment class. So I hope everybody else is as well. Let's pray. God, thank you for this blessing, this privilege. Thank you for empowerment. Thank you for discipline. Thank you for education, for information. Information, they say, is power, but only if we know how to wield it. So we are grateful for this opportunity to get the tools that we need so that we can be better people, better adults, do the adulting better, better believers, God, better ambassadors of your kingdom. So as we go from this place, God, help us to put into practice better practices and to ultimately be better positioned to be all that you would have us to be in these last and evil days. Now, God, we speak to Sister Steffi's body right now in the name of Jesus. We know that the doctors prescribe the medications that they see are necessary to try to provide assistance and help. We know that they do the best that they can, God, with what we know. And so as they have given this prescription, Father, we pray in the name of Jesus that it would work well, that it would do what the doctors are hoping that it will do, and that it will have little to no side effects. Not little, that it will have no negative side effects at all moving forward. For the headache that she is experiencing right now, we speak now to her body in the name of Jesus. And we say, Steffi, your head be at rest in the name of Jesus. Every blood vessel work properly. Let there be no more pounding, no more throbbing, but be at peace. We speak to it now. An ease of the symptoms and ease of the pain, and let there be rest in the name of Jesus. All right, everybody. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.
Wait.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
I got something. Okay, so after these classes, y'all, I want us to be in a better place than where we started off. So at the beginning, when I said to take to lower a bill by 10% or eliminate it, the ways that you can do that is you don't have to just try to dig up, more money to put on the bill. You can stop doing something. Let's say you go to Starbucks 4 days a week. Go to Starbucks 3 days a week. Take that $5 that you saved and put it in an envelope somewhere, and that adds up. You buy cigarettes 5 days, skip a day, put that $3 in a drawer somewhere. It adds up. There are ways to do this, y'all. Okay, that's it.
I'm gonna bring my money to you.
No, interestingly, I read a story about 2 or 3 years ago about a lady who every time she had got a $5 bill, she would put it in like a drawer or someplace in her house. And then, but it was like a $5 bill. Oh, I have a $5 bill. I'm going to put it here. And about once a quarter, she'd go in there and she'd have a few $100s.
Yes.
Because she just kept throwing them in there. And then she would take that money and do something with it. And I always thought, I never had the discipline. I would get about $20, $30. And I was like, oh, where's that $20?
Let me hold it for you. You'll be all right. I'll hold it for you. You'll never see it again.
She's going to put it in that safe.
On your deathbed. I need that money, Sister Marsha.
She'll put it in that safe and be the richest lady in the world.
Mm-hmm.
That is hilarious. Yeah, don't give it to Marsha. She'll never let go of it. She won't spend it. She just won't never.
No, I won't spend it. No.
Oh no. Well, see, I want mine back to pay a bill. I'll let you pay the bill if you want to.
Yeah. Hey, whatever works. Whatever works.
Okay.
I can. Yeah.
But Damien's laughing, but we are very good at, like right now, we have money sitting in our little piggy bank thing, and there's cash in there too. We don't go in there and touch that or take that or go do anything with it. We got money.
I've been saving my, occasionally when I'm at the desk, well, have been at the desk at the hotel, a guest would give me a tip. So I started saving the tip money. And it was, I was like, oh, okay. So I got it wrapped up in a rubber band. So,